So now, hopefully this will be the fourth and final video of our MAAS HA journey here. So we have a cluster of two servers that fail over for each other, and we have recovery steps in case it happens to clean up and all that good stuff. Well, now we need some rack controllers to be redundant so that they will control the nodes and DHCP and actually do the work. Again, you can see we're connecting. Both controllers are up. It's flip-flopping in between the two servers. Everything's good. There is this handy rack controller button, but it just throws some packages at you. That's fine. So, we will install rack controllers on both these servers. And it's pretty nice because it gives you the secret and the URL for your VIP. So it automatically pointed to that 155. So that's good. Okay, we have one registered. Region and rack, region and rack. Now we're synchronizing. So it's gonna synchronize the boot images down to those rack controllers. Synced. Okay, we're synced on both rack controllers. Let's take a look. And on this guide it says that you can make rack controllers HA right here, and then you can do it from the GUI. Alright, so it looks like we need to go to the Networks tab. Let's take a look. Oh, Networks tab's gone. So we're going to enable DHCP on Fabric 0. Let's step back a second. Fabric 0 is our private network that we want DHCP on. So we're going to provide it. We'll give it a run of addresses. So there's your primary and secondary rack controllers. Let's see, what do we want? That's the dynamic range. We can expand it if we need to. We'll do that for now. Okay, so that's all there is to it, to making redundant rack controllers, obviously. Well, not that obviously. So let's install either wake on one of these, even though it doesn't support it anymore. And let's go grab a MAC address from our documentation. Doesn't really matter. Let's do 1. Okay, send that one a packet, get it woke up, so it'll start commissioning. That's number 1. Let's just grab number 2. Okay, let's let those come up and enlist. Alright, so the machines are starting to deploy. Everything's looking good. I did find one thing that you need to watch. Most everything in here is going to be set up for you, but go to subnets for that. Make sure that this is the the IP of one of your controllers, because it defaults to .1, and it's not going to work that way. It's not going to commission anything if it's .1. So make sure that's the actual gateway of one of your MAAS controllers. And both of them showed up. As you know, we don't get wake on LAN anymore, so we're just going to set to manual. And we'll go ahead and commission both of these and then send it a magic packet. You have to do this relatively quickly, remember. Ignore all that. That was just some testing. We'll let those commission. Okay, both our servers are commissioned and ready, so that's working good. Let's take down, this one's the standby right now because I had to failover one more time. Let's take down the standby server. And let's try to, let's go to controllers. Let's try to have it commission one more node. Let's see if our redundancy is working correctly. And there's the machine. So let's let it commission. Looks like that one is going to commission successfully. I see the RAM coming in. One more test. Let's bring up the standby node, fail over the primary, and test one more machine. So a couple of issues when I tried to bring up the standby node and enlist some servers. First issue is I ran into a DHCP bug on the failover node. I found the bug listing for it, and it has been fixed, and they put it out in one of the newer releases, but I was using the release that came with 16.04. So before you start any of this, and I should have said this earlier, but load the stable repository, update and upgrade everything. That will get you the latest version, and that will fix that DHCP bug. The second issue, so let's, so one is master right now, and 2 is the standby. So the issue is, let's go to subnets and let's take a look at this. This will help me explain it. Okay. So we're primary right now. The gateway is set to the primary server. So the primary will work. It will enlist nodes. You can shut down, or MAAS 1 will work. You can shut down nodes. If MAAS 2 was currently the only one up, it would not work because the gateway would have to be 101. So you have to change that gateway, and I've put in a question on Ask Ubuntu to see if there's a trick for this, but you have to change that gateway if you're in a failover scenario. So what I did to cure this was to add it to our failover script, and I'll update it on the website, but let's take a look real quick. Okay, so I just added these commands in here. So what I did was I dumped ifconfig to a temporary file, If ifconfig contains 101, meaning this would be the second node, then 150. Then we log into MAAS to 151, because that means 101 is 151. We log into MAAS 151, give it the API key, and we update the gateway to 101. Anything else, that means you're on the other node. So 150, give it the API key, and then we update it to 100. So this, in the failover script, when things fail over, this will change it for us to that MAAS gateway problem will resolve in this script. So you have to put this on both sides, but you can put it in just like this because it's an if statement. So put it in like this on both sides. It'll be updated on the thing, on the website. So that will resolve that issue. I don't like doing it this way, but maybe somebody from the MAAS team will come back and say, hey, this is how you can do it to get around this gateway issue, having two gateways. So that's how we've gotten around it, and I've enabled myself to make this failover scenario work. So right now, MAAS 1 is primary, MAAS 2 is the standby. So let's take down, first of all, let's take a quick look around. Okay, 2 controllers, everything's good, everything's synced. We've got 1 machine showing. Let's see, that's that F0 machine. So let's fail over. I'll show you that. Let's flip back to subnets. I'll show you this gateway. So we're on the primary right now, but now we're going to fail that primary. And we'll just do that by rebooting it. Okay, it's failing over. Let's do our checks. Actually, let's just watch this for a second. I want to show you what happens when that failover script runs. So it's doing its thing. It's doing all its database stuff. We were still setting at 100. Now we're at 101. So our automation script is working. Let's do the normal checks here. So it became the master, and that's good. So take a look at controllers. So that region controller is out. Let's now that we're failed over, let's try to enlist a machine. And since that gateway is correct now, there's no reason, and that DHCP bug has been fixed, there's no reason why it shouldn't work. We'll wait for it to enlist. And there's the new node. So let's start it commissioning, and then we'll get back into a recovery state. And all we'll have to do over here is run our recovery command. So there you go. We've commissioned and enlisted nodes in both failover scenarios on both sides. That you have to automate changing this gateway somehow. You might have better ideas than I do on how to do that, but I just stuck it in our failover script. So there's a little bit of scripting that we had to do to get this to work. Hopefully they build a lot of these features in going forward. That DHCP error, make sure you're up to the newest version. So I ran into that. But that's pretty much it. If you've hung out for all 4 videos, this was a lot of work. There's a lot of content out there on the site. I hope you can get it to work. Please send me your questions. We'll try to figure it out together. Looks like we're commissioning successfully. But now that we're in this HA environment, I'm going to go work on trying to get landscape up with the new version of OpenStack and see if we can push forward testing some of the newer versions. But again, thanks a lot for watching.